Have you ever wondered whether you should put on a badge, or if that badge was actually good or effective in the game, or what even that badge did or meant? Well, whether you're in current gen or next gen, this is the video for you. This is the most complete badge breakdown tutorial video in 2K history. We are gonna go over every single badge in the game, all 80 of them. We're gonna give it a rating 1 to 10. And we're gonna talk about and discuss what the badge does, why it's good, why it's bad, why it's useful, why it's not useful. And on top of all of that, we have timestamps for each category in the description so you can find exactly the badge you're looking for. And also when I'm talking about the badge, I'll highlight it in the video so you'll know if you're looking for a specific badge, you can go to that badge, look at it, or you can look for whole categories. This video is easy to find exactly what you're looking for, and it covers completely everything. It's comprehensive. So if you guys appreciate me really going into detail, giving you guys all this information, I would appreciate you dropping a like. Please drop a like on this video. And if we get a ton of likes, if we get 2,000 likes on this video, I will actually go in detail because I have all my badges and my badges are maxed out. I'll go in detail on how to unlock the badges. This video is more of explaining the badges, telling you what's good and bad, but I can tell you how I unlocked my badges and got my badges. If you guys drop a like, we can do a video on that. But without further ado, let's get into it, man. Yo, what's up guys? It is PowerDF back with another video, and welcome to the most complete badge breakdown video. First category we're gonna be going over is the shooting category. So just to show you guys, I'm gonna be explaining each badge. I'm gonna be hovering over it. I'm gonna give it a rating 1 to 10. I'm gonna talk about it briefly. Now the first one is blinders. Blinders, I'm gonna give a 9. Blinders is a 9 because if you guys look at the badge description, jump shots taken with the defender closing out in their peripheral vision will suffer a lower penalty. So this basically means if somebody jumps on you from the side, if someone's behind you and you're crabbing someone, blinders going to be really, really good. Now, if you're a center, this is probably not one of the main badges, or if you do it bronze or silver, if you're a shooting center. But for guards, pretty much every guard is going to want to have blinders on. That's one of the key badges. It's not like a 10 because it's not one of those must-have badges, but it's still a badge where it's pretty key. So we're giving blinders a 9. Catch and shoot, it's a 10. It's literally a 10. Now, if you're a guard, you really don't need catch and shoot because you're not going to be shooting that many catch and shoots. If you're any kind of shooting center, catch and shoot is a must-have badge. That's one of the first badges. That's one of the best badges you have to own. So it depends if you're a guard or center, but if you're any kind of shooting big man, you pretty much must have catch and shoot. Now, chef. There have been some problems with chef. Some people say it doesn't work. Off size ups, it hasn't been indicated, but chef does work 100%. I'd give it a 9. And the reason is because what people don't understand about Chef is like limitless, not only for off the dribble shots, but Chef helps with like if you quick stop. If you're a guard and you quick stopping it from deep, then Chef will activate. But the problem is that you have to be really deep for this badge to activate. So a lot of people don't understand that you have to be like behind the hash. So these are super deep shots. These are not like on the line shots. If you don't shoot deep shots, you don't really need Chef. If you do, Chef is going to be like a must-have badge. So I would put this either on like gold or Hall of Fame if you're a guard. You know what I mean? Blinders and catch and shoot. Catch and shoot, Hall of Fame if you're going to be a shooting big man, but otherwise you don't really need it on. Now Circus 3s. Circus 3s, we're going to give it like a 4. It's not that it's a bad badge, but as you can with the step bats and everything, it's just there's so many good shooting badges. So one, you're gonna probably have to combine Circus 3s with like Chef or another badge if you want to be really lethal so you can step back really deep. But also too, it's just like with all these other shooting badges, why are you gonna put on Circus 3s unless you have like literally like 30 shooting badges? You know what I mean? There's just so many better options. So I'm gonna give it a 4. Now for clutch shooter, I'm honestly gonna give it a 3. Like it's the same thing. Some of these badges are useful, but it's just like there's so many. First of all, this is the easiest shooting 2K of all time, so you should just be able to make your shots anyway. And it's just like it's only useful in certain periods of the game. Like, why would you put on a badge and rate it so highly that it's only useful really in like a small minority of situations, like only when your team gets to 15. Like, you know what I mean? You're not going to be in that situation much. You want badges that work all the time to use your badge points. You can't justify putting a badge on Hall of Fame that's only going to work some of the time, in my opinion. Now, corner specialist. This is a badge I used to be high on. This year, guys, I'm giving it, I'm just going so low with the ratings, guys, but I'm giving this like a 2, guys, because You really shouldn't have corner specialists on, but it's so easy to shoot in this game. Everybody can shoot from the corner. You don't need this badge to shoot from the corner. I swear you don't. You can step back. You can make a shot in the corner. The only reason you should run corner specialist is if you're like a 50 or 60 3-pointer, it's really low and you can't normally shoot. But like, if you have a 70 or higher, you should not be touching corner specialists. Even people with a 60 3-pointer, I've seen this green every time in the corner. So it's like, I don't see the point of this badge unless you really just can't shoot on your player. So that's why I'm giving it a 2, but it has some use for those low, you know what I mean? Those low shooting players. But please don't. If you're a play shot, I was playing with songs the other day. This man had corner specialist on his play shot. Are you like, no, if you're a high 3-point build, do not have corner specialist on. Okay? So Deadeye. That's badge is Deadeye. I'm giving Deadeye a nice 7. It's not one of the main key badges you need. But Deadeye is extremely useful as one of those like secondary badges. You got 20, 25 badges. Go ahead and put on Deadeye. And the reason for that is because it kind of helps you. Like I hit a lot of 30% where they just help at the last second. So if you see the thing, it says jump shots taken with a defender closing out, receive less of a penalty from a shot contest. So a lot of times they jump at you the last second, which can mess you up, or they'll put their hands up at the last second. Deadeye will help with that. But if you're shooting wide open, that's not really gonna help. But those Deadeye shots, it can help. But I don't know about Hall of Fame, but putting this badge on bronze or silver, very, very useful. Now, difficult shots. I'm gonna have to again give this like a, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm gonna have to give this a 1, bro. Like I just don't like difficult shots. I just don't see where you would really need it. It says high difficulty jumpers such as hop steps, spins, step backs, and pull-ups receive a shot boost from the mid-range. First of all, it's only from the mid-range. And that just turns me off because I feel like in this game, you really shouldn't be shooting too many shots from the mid-range. It's just so inefficient. You want to be shooting threes, you want to be dunking, and if you do want to be shooting from the mid-range, it's going to be wide open. If you guys have ever watched my streams, I'll be doing step backs from the mid-range. I'll be doing hop steps from the mid-range. They go in anyway without a difficult shot. So I really don't see a point. I really don't see a point at all in putting on difficult shots. I just don't. Just because only mid-range off the dribble shots. I don't, unless you're just coming off the screen and fading everywhere in the mid-range, which I think you might make without difficult shots, there's no point in putting those on. So I'm giving it a 1. I wouldn't equip it on any player, but I guess if you're just really like fading, you could try it. Fade Ace improves ability to shoot post fades. Shot boost to post fades taken from any distance. Now I'm gonna give this a 7. Only reason I'm getting a 7 is because if you're a post scorer, you're someone that does that. I've seen people post fades and it can be extremely useful for those type of players. But if you're not a post scorer, never equip this badge ever in your life. Green Machine. I'm giving this a 4, guys. A lot of people use Green Machine and they use it so heavily. And it says increases the bonus given for consecutive excellent releases. So gives an additional shot boost when consecutively achieving excellent releases on jump shots. So basically you have to shoot 2 greens for this to activate. And it's just like, if you've played this game, you know shooting is extremely easy. So why would I need a badge that it takes me 2 greens to even activate? By that time, I'm gonna be halfway in takeover or half takeover. I'm not missing anyway because you don't need this badge to even green. Like, I don't see the point of this badge. I just don't think you need it. I guess it could be an extra boost if you just green a lot, then you can have this boost compounding on each other. So that's why I give it a 4, because I can see some usage. But a lot of people be here like, you must need Green Machine on your player. You can get away with not even using Green Machine. If you are going to use it, I recommend only using it on bronze or silver. So that's my opinion on Green Machine. Now, Hot Zone Hunter. Best badge in the game. Best shooting badge in the game. 10. Every single player needs it. You go get hot zones in my career or park, and once you get those hot zones, it's basically going to allow you to make it's going to increase, like, if you see the badge description right here, shots that are taken in a player's hot zones are given a boost. So if you get a hot zone everywhere on the court, which is not that hard, or at least everywhere in the 3-point line, you're getting a boost everywhere on the court. Everywhere you shoot, you're just getting a boost, and that's insane. So Hot Zone Hunter is a 10. That has to be one of the first shooting badges you have. As soon as you have hot zones, you need this shooting badge on, and you need it the highest you get it, whether that's gold or Hall of Fame. So Hot Zone Hunter right there. Now, Limitless Spot Up. Limitless Spot Up, I'm giving a nice, I'm giving it a 9, bro, to be honest with you, because Limitless Spot Up, if you're a center or a shooting big man, obviously you need this on at least go to Hall of Fame. This is so useful. What you gotta understand is what the badge does. This is like Limitless for spot up shots. So gives a boost to the range that a player that can effectively shoot standing 3-point shots. So if you catch it deep and you catch it from the hash, if you don't have Limitless Spot Up, you're not gonna be able to shoot that. You're gonna have to come in. If you catch it from like near the half court line, you can green it and pull it from deep. So I really like that for deep catches. Now, if you're a guard, I really wouldn't recommend this badge unless you're gonna put on like bronze. Like bronze or silver, you could put that on if you shoot some spot up shots on your guard. But other than that, you know what I mean? You're not gonna be pulling from deep from a guard using limitless spot up. So I think you get away from bronze or silver. Now next badge, Lucky 7. Well, I don't even know, like, it gives a boost to mid-range of 3-point attempts within the first 7 seconds of a possession. I think it's supposed to be like the Suns 7 seconds or less. I just feel like generally this is like a 3. I can see some use for it if you pull out really fast, but usually I don't shoot in the first 7 seconds of the possession. That's just an inefficient possession. You know what I mean? You don't want to take your time and get an open shot, or if I do shoot in the first 7 seconds, it's so wide open that it's like I'm not gonna miss. So it doesn't seem very viable or useful. So lucky number 7, I'm gonna give that a 3. Mismatch expert, guys. We are gonna give that badge a 7. This is a very good badge. There's better badges out there that you can use. It's not gonna be one of the main ones. But it says after forcing the switch, a player with this badge will have more success when shooting over the taller defender. So just like if you're a guard, you come off the screen, the center picks up. The center's not gonna get as high a contest with mismatch expert, which is like, I don't know how I feel about that badge, because it's like it just allows taller people not to contest you as much. But I've seen a lot of people, a lot of stage players have been using this extremely effectively, guys. So rhythm shooter, guys, rhythm shooter. Improve shots taken after breaking down your defender. This is like a 2. Increases the chances of made shot after sizing up your opponent. Most of the time when you size up your opponent, they're like on you, you're not even open. If you're really are that wide open, you're gonna make it. It's really like, I don't know, like you don't really need this badge. You're either open or you're not. It's not, I don't really see the point of it. But I guess, you know what I mean, if you do a size up, if you want that extra boost, you could. But most people should never equip their rhythm shooter badge. Going back to mismatch expert one time for a second. I feel like if you do equip this, you can go silver or gold. But only equip this if you have a lot of shooting badges. Like if you have 25 like this, you could do it. It shouldn't be one of your main 10 or 15. Going on to set shooter. Increase the shot rating when taking your time before shooting. This is the same thing. This is like a 3, bro. It's just, the reason for it is because you're either you can put catch and shoot. You're either gonna catch and shoot, or you're gonna shoot right away quickly. Who's gonna get the ball, stand still for a second, and then shoot? And if you do stand still, you're gonna be so wide open that you're gonna make it anyways. Like I don't know, some of these badges is that you just don't need. You don't need set shooter. Slippery off ball, I'm gonna give that 2. It's just so many other shooting badges. It's like slippery off ball. I don't know when you would put that on, to be honest. Maybe for pro-am, but I really don't see a usage for that. Sniper, 10. I've been playing sniper. If you guys don't understand, if you get it slightly early or slightly late, which is basically like a 4 bar, it just helps your chance or increases your chance of making a 4 bars. That's why you see people make all these whites. Anytime you get slightly early or slightly late, if you got Hall of Fame sniper or gold sniper, the shots will like almost automatically go in. So every player in this game should pretty much have on sniper. I'm not gonna lie. If you can shoot at all, sniper's a must have. Stop and pop, guys. We're giving that badge a 9. If you're a center or a big man, you don't really need this. Guards, it boosts shot rating on standstill 3-pointers after dribbling. Like this is like the better version of like rhythm shooter or set shooter. Like if you come out, if you're dribbling and you stop and you shoot, that's gonna be stop and pop. That's not gonna be set shooter. So stop and pop is really useful for pretty much any guard because that's what they do a lot. They go and then they shoot, they dribble and they shoot. So volume shooter, last but not least, I'm gonna give this badge a 3, guys, just because volume shooter boost shot percentage of shot attempts accrue throughout the game. Basically, it says after a player has taken a small handful of shots, an additional boosted shot attribute is given for every subsequent shot, whether it's a make or miss. It's just like you shouldn't be shooting a lot of shots unless you're making them. And if you are making a lot of your shots, you're gonna get takeover. So it's really not a point in using this unless you have a lot of extra badges and you just can't figure out anything to put it on. But there's so many good badges this year, you really don't need this. So volume shooter, I don't recommend unless you have like 30 or 40 or something insane. You just can't figure out where to put it. Don't really put on volume shooter. It's already easy to shoot anyway. All right, guys, the next category we need to review is playmaking. So to go over for playmaking, first badge right here is ankle breaker. Ankle breaker, I'm giving that like a 5, guys. I just haven't seen people get many ankle breakers this year. Like when performing step backs and other student moves, the defender stumbles. I told you guys, as I'll talk about later, I've had way more success with like Space Creator. A lot of people that I've seen had ankle breaker on, like they really haven't been getting acres. Now they may patch it and it may be improved, but right now, like, I don't really see a point. Bailout, I'm giving a 9, bro. This is almost a must-have badge. Now, only reason I give it a 9 because it's not like a badge you gotta have on Hall of Fame, but everyone should have this on bronze just because you go up for a shot, you pass out. You know those times, if you guys know what I'm talking about, if you've been using bailout a lot in many years, if you go up for a shot and you pass out of it, and sometimes it goes out of bounds, bailout prevents that from happening. So bailout is gonna really help you with passing out of your shots and keeping the pass accurate. So silver at most in for this kind of badge, guys. But I would put it on bronze in most cases, and bronze will be good enough and just help you a lot. This is one of those examples of really good bronze badges. Now, break starter, guys. Improves ability to make effective outlap passes after ground rebound. I'm giving this a 5. I guess this can be useful on Pro-Am. Not really useful on 3v3 core, to be honest. Pro-Am or Rec, I can see how you maybe would put this up, but 2s, 3s, Park, no need to have this badge. Bullet Passer. Okay, I'm really high on this badge. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Everybody, in my opinion, should have on Bullet Passer. Whether you're a center, whether you're a guard. If you guys see the passes about Bullet Passers, they're so slow. What Bullet Passer is, it increases the passing. So if you're an ISO player, you probably need this on Hall of Fame because they can't help you. And your passes will be speedy and fast. If you're not an ISO player, sometimes you at least need it on bronze or silver. So it's at least your passes will get there before people even rotate. So there's no reason, even if you're a center, like basically, let me give you an example. If you have no Bullet Passer on, if I pass it to my teammate, like people can run to faster than the ball goes. Like that's how bad it is. So everybody should have Bullet Passer. You have to decide what level you have on. If you like the ISO or you pass a lot more, put it on gold or Hall of Fame considering. Hall of Fame is really a glitch. But if not, at least have it on bronze or silver, guys. Dimer. I can't rate this. This is a 6. Guys, I can't rate this as highly as I usually do just because you don't really need Dimer in this game to shoot. Like, unless, only reason you should be, like, really using Dimer, you have to use Dimer is because if your teammates have low 3-point ratings. Like, people really shouldn't need Dimer to shoot in this game because it's so easy. So, it's a good badge. Basically, you pass it, if you pass to an open shooter, then it gives them a shot percentage boost. But if your teammates can already shoot, you don't really need this. Okay, so down here, increases the ball in transition. I'm gonna give this like a 4. It's useful. It's just like I don't know many fast break situations. Like on 3s, it's like the fast break is either gonna be open or it's not most of the time. And I guess maybe Pro-Am or Rack I could see a use for this, but really in Park 2s, 3s, I really don't think you need downhill. Floor General, guys. Floor General is still a really nice badge. We're gonna give this 7. Like I said, most people can shoot, so you really don't need this for most people. What this is going to do is it gives an attribute boost to their teammates when on the floor. Additionally, a red ring appears around a teammate's feet when they're in one of their hot zones. So basically, it's going to show you when your teammates are in your hot zones, when they're in the hot zones, and it's going to give your teammates like a attribute boost. So how it works is +1 for bronze, +2 for all your offensive attributes for silver, +3 for gold, and +4 for Hall of Fame. So if you play with teammates with low shooting ratings like 60s and you run floor general, this can be a big help for them. But if you're playing with people with 93-point ratings, it's not going to be that useful, maybe. So you know what I mean? It's more useful for people with lower offensive ratings. Like, it can really help defensive players. So I think it's useful. It's probably a better badge than Dimer to help people because the ratings can help a ton. But it's not a badge that like you really need maybe like in other years because it's just so easy to score and shoot already. Okay, glue hands. I've heard really good things about glue hands. Reduces the chances of an errant pass while improving the ability to catch touch passes and quickly make the nets move. So I'm giving this badge like low key. It's not one of the main key badges. I'm giving it like a 6, guys, because glue pass. Some of the times when you would fumble on like bailout passes, glue hands will help you catch those easily, and you can catch it and move really fast. It's just there's so many good playmaking badges this year. I can't give it a higher because there's so many other badges you'd have on before glue hands. But if you had something crazy like 30 or 40, I don't know, you might have to have 40, but if you had 30, then I could see you putting on glue hands, bro, because it is nice. Consider if you can spare a badge point, putting this on like bronze or silver and see if it has an effect on you, because it is a really nice badge. It's underrated. Handles for days, 10. If you're any kind of dribbler, or you know what I mean, you have to have on handles for days. If you're any kind of guard, if you want to dribble, if you want to move around, you have to have on handles for days. Basically, you don't lose stamina as quicker when you're doing dribble moves. So that's a must. Hall of Fame for most people if you can. If not, try to max out the gold if you're a kind of dribbler. Hyperdrive, guys. Okay, I've heard mixed things about Hyperdrive. We're gonna give it a 9 though. It's a really good badge. Increase the speed at which a player can perform dribble moves as they attack down the court. So it's kind of like you move really quickly, like driving the ball. It's more useful on threes. If you're more of a threes player, you're gonna probably need Hyperdrive. Go to Hall of Fame if you're a guard. If you play twos, I've seen some people like not even use this badge and still be fine. It kind of depends what kind of moves you do. So I recommend experimenting and seeing if Hyperdrive like helped you a lot. But if you do use the correct moves, Hyperdrive can be extremely useful. All right, Needle Threader. We're giving Needle Threader 4. When passing through a tight window between defenders, a boost is given to the player's passing ability. I just feel like bullet passer and getting it quicker is more important. And I just feel like, again, with so many playmaking badges, when are you really going to have the opportunity to put on like Needle Threader, you know? But it's not useless. It definitely makes a difference. Post Playmaker. When passing out the post or offensive rebound, receivers get a shot boost. I'm giving that a 5. It's not a bad badge. It's like kind of like a dimer. Sort of for like big men, and when you catch it you get offensive rebound and pass out. It's just like I feel like dimer recovers more stuff. Like if you guys see this, when the half court passes by dimers, the open shooters yield a shot percentage boost. And this one is just like, it's like a lesser dimer sort of. And then even more, we already talked about dimer. Dimers are not that high just because everybody can shoot. So it's the same thing with post playmaker. If you're a big man, you're passing out to your guard, 99% of the time your guard should be able to make the shot. So why are we spinning badge points a post playmaker? So if you just don't have that many playmaking badges unlocked and you want to spin a couple and you don't need these dribbling badges because you're like a center, then I guess you could go post playmaker, but I think there's so many better badges. Quick chain. Quick chain is a 10. For any kind of guard, I'm hearing it like Hall of Fame is like what you need. Go to Hall of Fame. It's going to be a must-have for like any kind of guard. A player with his badge can quickly put together a series of moves and sizing up their opponents. It makes your move like super quick. So a lot of the people you see dribbling really fast, they all have a Hall of Fame quick chain. So that's a must-have. Quick first step, 10. Hall of Fame has or max out for anybody, whether you're a center or whether you're a guard. You want quick first step as fast as you can. It basically makes you, when you catch the ball, your first steps out of a triple threat or a size up is going to be explosive, it's going to be fast, and that all is going to depend on quick first step, guys. Space Creator improves the ability to create space from a defender. I'm giving this an 8. Like I said, this is kind of nice because how it works this year, you just do step backs, you do any kind of dribble moves, and you create separation. But what they don't tell you is people with just ankles would just be falling. Like I get mad ankle breakers. All my ankle breakers, I don't have an ankle breaker on. I just get off Space Creator. So you can get a ton of ankle breakers if you know how to use Space Creator correctly. And it's not even a high level you need. Like bronze or silver gives big effects. So I recommend trying Space Creator on bronze or silver if you can. Now special delivery. This is like a 6, guys. This is useful for like rep grinders because it's going to increase your alley-oop throw success and shot chance for receivers after a flashy pass. So you flashy pass or you throw alley-oops, it's going to really help you with that. But in most cases, like you don't need to put this on unless you're just throwing a ton of lobs or something, bro. So unless you're like lob farming, I wouldn't see a use for this, but a lot of people do use that, especially on current gen. So I don't know. If you throw lobs, you can put this on. Stop and go improves a player's ability to start and stop with the ball. Allows for ball handling to start and stop quickly where your nuke stops, and lines is exclusive to this badge. I really like this badge. Some people don't like it. I like it. I'm gonna give this badge actually like a 6. I don't think it's a must-have, but if you try it out at least on bronze or silver, see if it helps you, because I feel like a lot of times you get like this speed boost where you just change directions really quickly with stop and go. So try it out. You can see that for yourself, but stop and go, in my opinion, it's a decent badge to have on. Not one of the key ones you need though. Tight handles increases the player's ball handling ability and size up this situations, making it easier to break down the own ball defender. I'm gonna give this like a 4. I just really haven't seen anybody use it or this be effective this year. Now, if you do size up, I know a lot of people do that explosive behind the back and they said it would stun people. It really doesn't do that this year. I think there's so many other playmaking badges. It's not even worth trying this out. It might have some effectiveness, but really you gotta have quick first step, handles for days, bullet pass with dimers. It's so many. Like tight handles is on the bottom of the ladder. So I really wouldn't put on tight handles at all unless you have an insane amount of playmaking badges. Triple threat juke. This is one I actually tried out because I thought it was going to be good for me. Speeds up triple threat moves when trying to blow by the defender, raising the likelihood of freezing your opponent. I tried this and I'm giving it a 2. Honestly, I didn't really see any difference when I had this on. I didn't see the badge activate unless I did like a spin out of the triple threat. Like, I don't know, when I did my jab step and run right past him, I really didn't see it. So I'm giving it a 2, especially with all these other playmaking badges. You can't be wasting it on chip with that juke, especially when it doesn't even work that heavily. Now, Unpluckable, guys. I'm giving Unpluckable a 10. With how you get ripped so much this year, you gotta have Unpluckable. Maybe on Gold or Hall of Fame. If you don't have Unpluckable, you have it on Bronze. You're gonna find yourself just losing the ball a ton of times. That's why a lot of you guys just are getting the ball stolen like 24/7, because Unpluckable is such a key and important badge. So definitely look out for Unpluckable. We're giving that badge a 10. And that's gonna conclude the playmaking badges. Alright guys, next up is the defensive badges, bro. So ankle braces. First of all, I'm gonna give this badge a 5. It's nice. If you find yourself getting your ankle broken a ton, you can put this on. It's just so far in this game, I haven't seen people breaking a lot of ankles. So until that problem occurs, even with playmaking takeover, people not breaking it, you're just not gonna need this badge. But lowers the likelihood of getting an ankle broken by opposing drummers. This is a nice counter to like ankle breaker or the ankle badges, because I felt like in previous years, next thing was the first time they introduced this, but in previous years, like on current gen and stuff, you couldn't, like, people could just break your ankles and you had nothing to do about it. But now ankle breakers, there's something you can do to counter. I feel like if you have a good playmaking or offensive badge, there should be a defensive badge to counter it, you know? So ankle braces, we're giving a 5. Bar stripper, we're giving this an 8. Help increase the chance of a steal when tipping the stripper, layup, or dunk near the basket. So if somebody's driving to the basket, you can just strip them. I like this, especially if you're guarding the slashers. When the slashers try to rim run you or just run straight to you, bar stripper can be extremely effective. So 8, if you're a lockdown or defensive player, I would say go ahead and put this on, but I don't know if you can spare this if you don't have that many defensive upgrades. Bots, guys, is definitely a 10. If you're any kind of big man and you specialize in rebounding, you must have bots on, at least on bronze, in my opinion. Now, you can do bronze or silver. I don't think you need it on Hall of Fame in most cases, unless you're like a pure red, but bronze or silver, you're gonna want bots on some level. Now, if you're a guard, you don't need this, but I'm saying for centers, it's a must-have. Brick wall, 10 again. If you're a big man, you must have brick wall at least. It basically increases your effectiveness of screens. It just makes it harder. Now, this is something to add. It makes it harder for offensive players to back you down. So it's actually giving you a defensive boost now. So I would at least have this on silver if you're any kind of big man. Probably go to Hall of Fame the highest level if you can. So look at this. Drains opponent energy from opponents on physical content too. So it almost acts like a bruiser. Like, this badge is way more useful in so many ways than just setting screens. I don't think people realize this. So 10 right here. Chase down artists, guys. So for chase down artists, I'm gonna give that a 10. I've been hearing rave and reviews about this badge over and over again. People are just saying the chase downs play shots up and out here getting blocked because they have this badge on. Even on bronze, you just get amazing animation. So whether you're a guard, whether you're a center, try to put this badge at least on bronze. Hall of Fame might be pushing it unless you're like a lockdown defensive build, but this badge on bronze can make huge dividends. Now, clamps. Boost the ability to stay in front of the ball handler on the perimeter. This is a 10. If you're any kind of guard, you have to have clamps at a mass level. Even centers, having this, if you pick up or you switch, it can help you from keeping people from going by you. So clamps is a 10. Pretty much a must-have defensive badge for anybody that wants to play good defense. Defensive leader, guys. I'm giving this like a 3. Unless you're like a pure defense, there's no reason to have this on. It's kind of like floor general for defense, but I just feel like getting +1 or +2 and like your 3-pointer is huge. Giving +1 and +2 and you're still just not going to affect much. So most of the time, it's like you shouldn't have defensive leader on. It's just so many other badges that can help you and get you animations more than the ratings will. Hustler. Improves the ability to beat opponents to loose balls. I just feel like there's not that many loose balls in this game. So we're going to give this badge a 3. There's just so many better defensive badges. Like, you're not going to be fighting for loose balls like that. But I guess if you're diving and you want to, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It's so extra. Interceptor is a 10, guys. The frequency of successfully tipped or intercepted passes greatly increases. So you can tip passes more. You're in the lanes. You catch them more when people pass it. Basically, it's about getting passing lane steals. So everybody put this badge on at least bronze. I feel like it's so useful. If you're like a lockdown, you can have this on Hall of Fame or gold. Like, it really makes a difference if you have on interceptor, guys. I promise you, that's a 10. Intimidator, another 10. Intimidates offensive players, causing them to miss shots more often. So basically, if you contest people, it makes people miss more when you contest them, just because you have an Intimidator. So This is another badge. Everybody needs this on if you can. If you're a guard and you don't have much defensive badges, you might not be able to put this on, but try to put it on even on bronze, bro. If you can unlock it, bro, because it basically just makes your defense better. Yeah. So menace, this is underrated, guys. We're gonna give this an 8. While guarding and staying in front of opponent, their attributes will drop if good defense is playing. So basically, I just feel like there's better badges like Intimidator, Interceptor, but Menace is so good, especially if you're a pure lock, or if you have extra defensive badges like you get 20. Basically, if you press somebody, their attributes start dropping. Like that's crazy. You really dropping people's attributes with this badge. So you're gonna want to put this up if you have a ton of defensive badges. I'd say like 15 plus, to be honest, maybe even 10 plus, but 15 plus, you're gonna want to have Menace on some kind of level. Off-ball pass, we're gonna give this like a 1. I really have never seen this work in like any game. Grab and hold the matchup. I've seen people when they try to use this against people D-padding. This says don't get their ankles broken as often. I guess that's nice, but I don't think you should put an off-ball pass in like any situation. Pick Dodger. I'm giving Pick Dodger a 9. Some people have said it's not extremely effective, but if you're a guard and you're trying to dodge screens and you're getting a live screen set on you, I would at least have this on some level, probably the max level, like gold or Hall of Fame if you can, just to be able to get around those screens. So if you're guarding anybody, and now if you're guarding an ISO player, you probably don't even need this, but if you're guarding screens a lot, definitely want to have on Pick Dodger to the highest level, like gold probably if you're a guard. Pickpocket, guys. Oh my god, we're giving this badge a 9. I've heard so many good things about it. You get so many steals if you have on Pickpocket. This basically allows you to get more steals. So Pickpocket, try this out. Okay, so Interceptor's passing lane steals, Pickpocket's on ball steals. Like you steal it with somebody from the dribbling. So if you're a guard and you're guarding on ball, I feel like Pickpocket would be very good. Try it at least on bronze or silver and see if it works for you. Alright guys, Pogo Stick. Basically you can jump many times before landing. I give this badge a 6. There's just so many more other useful badges. Now Pickpocket has a place. It's just like you don't really you're not gonna be jumping like a kangaroo down there as much as you think. Most of the times you can just put your hands up, contest them. Maybe bronze or silver if you have abundance of defensive badges, but this should not be one of the first defensive badges you put on by far. Okay, post lockdown is actually really, really good. Basically what this combines for your current gen players. For Neston, you know about this badge already. But if you're a current gen player, post lockdown combines basically move and truck and post move lockdown. So basically it increases your ability to defend the moves in the post, but it also increases your ability at stripping the opponent in the post too. So this is a good badge if you're guarding post scorers. Otherwise you just don't need this. So maybe if you're playing the 1v1 court, it's a situational badge. You know what I mean? If you're not guarding a post scorer a lot, you don't need this badge at all. But if you are, you should have it on. Maybe keep it on bronze in case a post scorer pours up. But it's a good badge. It's just not useful for everything. You know what I mean? So that's what we're looking at post lockdown. Rebound Chaser is a 10. Anybody that's playing the rebound needs this on the max possible level. If you want to rebound, if you're a big man at all, max possible level every single time, bro. Rebound Chaser is basically the badge that helps you get rebounds. Like that's what that badge is. It says in the name, it's a Rebound Chaser. Rim Protector, also a 10. Rim Protector versus Chase Down Artist is such a good combination. It stops you from getting dunked on. If you're getting dunked on a lot, make sure you have Rim Protector on. It helps with slashers, but it also improves your ability to block shots. You'll get blocks that you weren't getting before if you have Rim Protector on. So 10. Guards want to try to get this on. Every big man should have this on. Powerless Defender, guys. I'm gonna give this a 4. It's just so many other defensive badges, not useful in most situations. Allows defenders to play defense more aggressively without losing energy. It's just like I haven't seen a lot of times where you just lose your whole energy, and if you do, it's like the offensive player has lost his energy too. And it's just like you want rim protector, you want rebound. It's just like when you have all these other badges, what's the place for really talented defenders? So if you have, I'm not gonna say it's useless because it is helpful because a lot of times your stamina will go down, but that's just not one of your main concerns on defense. So if you got like 30 and you're a pure lock, put that on. Otherwise, no need. Worm, I'm gonna give it a 3. It allows you to get around. Most of the time, if you have the bots out, you're gonna get the rebound, and you should be having the bots out. So I don't know why I would put a badge on if I don't have the bots out. So if you're a pure defensive, pure inside center, maybe you can put up Worm. But in most cases, you don't want to put a badge that's helping you in bad position because you should be in good position. So Worm, I'm gonna give it 3, and that's gonna conclude the defensive badges. Okay, guys. Last but not least, we have the finishing badges, which I feel like is I left it for last because I feel like it's one of the weakest categories this year. But we'll go through it. Acrobat. Acrobat, guys. We have. I'm gonna give this 6. Just because spin, half step, hop step, euro step, cradle reverse. I just haven't seen people doing many reverses. If you do a lot of reverse layups or spin layups in the paint, this can help you. It's just like finishing, in my opinion, it's straightforward. I'm not going to be doing these crazy layups. Maybe if it's last year, I'm going to shoot a wide open layup, a wide open dunk, or I'm not going to take it at all. So I'm going to give that a 6. For back down punisher, allows players to have more success than normal when backing up in a row or posting up. This is an 8, but only use this if you're a post scorer or maybe an inside center and you're going to be backing people down. But in most cases, if you're not clearly backing people down in the post, you don't really need this. But if you do, that's going to be an 8. It's going to be really useful. Dream Shake, guys. We're giving this. This has to move. I remember this used to be in Playmaking, but we're going to give it a 4. I like this badge. It's people don't understand. You do post fakes, you do pump fakes in the paint. You can kind of like stun them, and it's hard for them to guard. It's just there's so many other extra badges, and it's like, when are you going to really do in pump fakes? It's not widely used as the other one. Drop stepper, we're going to give this 7. So allows for more success while attempting post drop steps and hop steps. This is going to help you protect the ball better, but once again, this is only useful for post scores. If you're not a post scorer, you don't need this badge. But if you're a post scorer, you definitely need drop stepper. Fast twitch, speeds up standing layups or dunks around the rim. So I guess you get it and you put it out really fast. This is actually an underrated badge. We're giving this 8. If you get it, you put it out really fast. It kind of helps you with put back kind of stuff. So fast twitch, it's an 8. I don't know if it's a key badge that everyone needs on, but if you have an extra finishing badge around like 15 to 20, I would try putting on fast twitch, at least on bronze or silver. Fearless finisher at 10. You basically make this helps you make all your contested layups, guys. So this is the number 1. This is one of the badges where if you don't have many, you want to put fearless finisher on right away. So a 10 for fearless finisher, guys. Giant Slayer. Now, if you're small, you can put this on. We're giving it a 7. So this is only for small players. Basically, it helps you make your layups over taller defenders, and you won't get blocked as much. So if you're small, this is badge. If you're tall, don't put this badge on. Grace under pressure. Boost effectiveness on standing shots under or near the badges. This kind of like, I don't like it. I'm gonna give it a 3. Just because I just feel like these, like, I'm not going to be shooting these shots under the badges, on the basket, unless they're wide open. I'm not forcing inside shots. So a lot of these badges seem like they're for forcing inside shots. And it's just like, I don't know why anybody would play that way. So that's what we're doing with Grace under pressure. Hook specialist. As you guys seen with the post hooks, this badge is definitely a 10 this year. But it's only if you're a post scorer. So a lot of these badges on finisher are just post scorer specific. This really helps you if you're a post scorer. If you're not a post scorer, don't even look at this badge. Limitless takeoff, 9. Very, very good. Basically, you can dunk from farther. You can do a layup from farther away from the basket. Very, very good badge to have on. Limitless takeoff. Lob City finisher, we're giving that a 7. It's nice. It's just so situational. If you're gonna catch a ton of lobs, you're rep farming, put on Lob City finisher. And maybe on next gen, especially with how they have the timing, like this can help you. But it's just like in most situations, you're not catching lobs, and I don't catch lobs a lot. I rarely ever throw lobs. You don't need Lob City finisher. So 7, good if you're using the right situations. Mouse in the house gives a boost on layups to the opponent is much smaller. This is like, I'm gonna give this like a 5. I can see the use from it if you're a really tall, big center, and you want to body people. But it's just like in this game, most of the times, if you're taller than the person, you're gonna make it anyway. So why do I need a badge to help me make it over smaller players? But if you're if you're a taller player and you're struggling, you're finding that you miss shots against these like play shots or people that are like 6'5", 6'6", then you can try and bounce in the house. But it's just like most of the time you're gonna make it anyway. Post spring technician, I'm giving it an 8. It's post score specific. If you're not a post scorer, you really probably shouldn't use this. Once again, this was in Playmaking on current gen, but they moved it. But it's really good. I definitely see the spins off at people if people know what they're doing with post spin technician. Posterizer, we're giving this a 7. I like posterizer. and it does help you throw down dunks. It's just like I haven't seen a lot of crazy posters this year, so maybe on bronze or silver, I just haven't seen people jam and just dunk on people consistently. But if you're a slasher, definitely put this on Hall of Fame or as high as you can get it. It's just like, most cases if you're not a slasher, you don't need posterizer. But if you're a slasher, go all in on the posterizer. Pro Touch gives an additional boost for having good layup timing. Once again, this is a sits. I just don't really time my layups. And this has only helped you have a layup timing turned on. So if this is gonna be a really nice badge. If you're good with a layup time, you can make crazy layups. It's just like, I don't time my layups. I don't want to time my layups, so I'm not using this badge. Okay, Prep Back Boss, guys. I never really liked this badge. I'm gonna give it a 2. Basically, enables prep back dunks and boost the shot attributes of a player that attempts a prep back layup or dunk right after offensive rebound. Generally, if I get the rebound, I'm only putting it back up if it's wide open. I'm not forcing it. So it's either like I'm gonna dunk it or I'm gonna lay up or I'm not. So these badges are just kind of redundant in a sense. Rise Up. This was really good last year on Next Gen. Increased the likelihood of dunking the ball in the painted area. I'm gonna give it a 5. It can be useful, but it should only be used with extra finishing badges. There's so many other key ones. Maybe put this on bronze or silver, but you can definitely it'll help you with a lot of standing dunks. Like if you get the ball into the basket, you can rise up. That's why it's really called. You can do a standing dunk really easily. So I feel like Rise Up's even better than Put Back Boss because it kind of does it better. Slithery Finisher's a 10. Basically what it does is you go up for a layup, people just can't contact you, just go around them. So Slithery Finisher, pretty much every slasher and probably any person should probably have this on finishing right after Fearless Finisher. Teardropper, we're giving this a 1. It helps floaters and runners. Who really shoots floaters or runners? Not gonna lie to you. And Unstrippable. Unstrippable is a nice 8. If you're a slasher, you like to drive, a lot of people are gonna try to strip you. Unstrippable definitely should be on. And it's gonna help you from people from ripping you. It's kind of the counter to that strippable badge. So if anybody's trying to strip you, run into the hoop, then this can stop you from getting stripped. So Unstrippable is right there. The only reason I give it a 10 is because if you're not a slasher and you're not forcing it, you're not really gonna have that problem as much. But 8, that's gonna conclude the finishing badges. We officially went over all the badges, guys. I hope this helped you. As I said, we're gonna have timestamps for each category. And basically, if you guys have any badges you would recommend or you have different feedback, make sure you guys leave in the comment section below. We are going to help each other. I have a lot of knowledge about the badges and I want to help you guys. But like I said, I don't know everything. So when you guys have that info, you can come and you can share that knowledge and we can pool all of our research together. So make sure you guys enjoy this video. You like it. Subscribe if you guys are new. Leave those comments and I am out.
Lucas. It's funny how now she be calling me back. She see that I got it, I'm stuck in the trap. 40 autos and we put it right back. 40 autos and he left in the back. I can't be trusting cause people just act.